everyone, I'm Nate.
No, I'm Abby.
TheRcSaylors, we're out at our airfield today to show you the new drone, apparently. That's what it's called by Syma, the X8HG with an HD camera. Basically, this is Syma's version of the DJI Phantom. Can you tell why? Tell me that doesn't look like a Phantom and I'll tell you you're crazy. I mean, that is exactly what they're going for on this. They just did red and, you know, cheaper. So this is a brushed motor setup, not brushless. It comes in a little over $100 and we'll have a link for you in the description box below. We're gonna do a flight test of this today and share everything that we can learn about this with you. But first, let's take a look at what comes in the box. I will say the drone itself is pretty sharp looking. It's very good looking with that bright red. I really like that paired with the chrome. It's a very hot looking drone. It actually has some weight to it, even without the battery in there. I'm really excited to see how it performs. Usually weight is associated with quality, not always the case. I hope that's the case with this. There was some building to do here. I had to put the prop caps, the props, and the landing gear on. The props themselves were slightly annoying to install, but not impossible. They were just different. The instructions did a good job showing us how to do that, but it took some time. I've been sitting here working on this drone for about a half hour, putting the landing gear, the camera, and the props on.
Not a half hour, it was like 10 minutes.
Felt like 2 hours. Okay, I'm a little, I think it put me in a bad mood. I don't like doing that sort of thing. The camera looks like a GoPro. It's gonna be probably not quite a GoPro quality, but it does come with a micro SD card. All the wiring you need to get it set up, everything that you need is included in this box.
Except transmitter batteries. Except
transmitter battery, you're right. Here's the flight battery. This is a 7.2 volt, that's 2 cells, 2000 milliamp LiPo battery. It comes with the little banana plug connector, I like to call it. It's the big circle and little circle with a balance port. So you could charge that on your hobby grade charger, but it does come with its own charger. This was this was a bit of a wall trickle charger. Just plugs right into the little charging dock. You have light indicator to tell you when it's charging and that it is charging, and the balance port plugs right in there. So you could charge other batteries with that too. So that's okay, nice little setup. Here's the transmitter. It's a bulky transmitter. It's definitely big, almost too big I thought when holding it. It feels almost as big as my hobby grade plane transmitters. And for this, I didn't think it was necessary for it to be so big, but it is. There are shoulder buttons up here. This is flip, this is headless mode and rates, and your throttle trim is photo video, unlabeled. Nothing is labeled. I don't like that at all. I hate when they're not labeled, when they're cheap and generic. They need to be labeled. You do get 4 prop guards. We will not be flying with those today. And you get 4 spare props. The props are, well, super annoying to install. They have these special little clips underneath. If you buy this yourself, you'll see what I'm talking about. But pretty basic props. You get 2 spares for each arm. And then in here we have a lot of extra screws and a screwdriver. Those are...
You only get 4 props, 1 spare for each arm.
Yeah, so total of 8 props. Sorry if I said that confusing. A lot of extra screws in here, and I'll tell you why. The landing gear requires 2 each to hold it on. I put 1 in there because the little hole that's inside the leg there is just impossible for me to get the screw lined up, put that in there. So I'm going with 1 screw instead of 2. And then you have screws to hold your prop guards on as well. The prop guards... that
little piece, black piece comes out.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. So that comes out, and these pop in, and 2 screws hold them on. But we're not going to do that. That's actually a good design. I do like that. Yeah, we'll just see how it flies. Let's just see, plug it in, and let's go. Quadcopter is on first, and let's arm the motors here. Both sticks down and in to arm the motors. Both down and in. And let's go. For an altitude hold quadcopter, kind of quiet for being brushed. The altitude hold, I'm letting off right there, and it's falling back down to about there. So it's pretty different, you know, and then it bounces back up. So There's a slight breeze right now, just an ever so slight breeze. It's doing okay. It took a while for it to find where it wanted to be, but it's doing okay now. So I'm going to throttle up some. And when I let off the throttle, it comes back down a bit, a good bit, and then it goes up some. Now you got to keep in mind, with an altitude hold quadcopter, if you have breeze, it's going to push it away, like it's doing right now. So altitude hold just means it's going to keep the elevation that you've left it at. For example, right now, I'm not touching the throttle at all. I'm just using the right stick to control the quad. I'm going to do a flip for you before we turn the camera on and see how that does. Okay, I think it's going to be press and hold. Yep. So press and hold the flip button and then pick a direction. And it did an okay flip. A little clunky for a big guy, but that's to be expected. We'll do one more. There's a backflip. Okay, now let's try the camera. Abby, I'm going to try to point it at us. Take a picture or video. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm trying to just frame us up. That altitude hold is not doing great. Okay, let's try it. I would think that's a picture since it was one beep. Okay, down. Okay, down is video. So up is picture and down is video. One beep is pictures, two beeps is video. We should be filming now. Okay, I'm going to try to speed it along. You ready, Abby? So that's full forward in rate 1. You guys probably have a decent view of the ground. And now with the wind, there's full forward, so quite a bit faster. Now let's try to increase the rates. And that was rate 2, and you can see into the wind, that's pretty quick. Of course, you're looking at the ground. So I've changed my opinion of this a little bit now that I've got it in a higher rate. It actually flies quite nicely. I'm impressed with how it flies. It is pretty good. And let's see if there's an even higher rate. You ready? Nope, 1 and 2. Okay, so we're back in 2. Now it also has headless mode. So let's try that and see how it works. We're facing the way we were facing when we took off. Relatively the same area, so, and I haven't moved. Just press and hold. Now we're in headless mode, and it tells us that with this beautiful constant beep. Okay, for some reason it stopped.
You made fun of it, so
yeah.
Didn't like that.
I was embarrassed. So I'm pushing away and rotating, and it is going away while I rotate.
Yeah, so that only beeps for a minute.
I do like that a
seconds.
lot. Yeah, and the headless mode works perfectly. I'm flying it while rotating. That's the best demonstration of headless mode you could ask for. So if I rotate it, I can push it around and it continues to go in that direction. Some of you guys that are newer, if that doesn't make any sense, let me show you in this way. If I turn the quadcopter to the left, but I push away, now the quad goes away instead of forward. If I pull back to me, even though the quad is facing left, it comes back. Now if I take it out of headless mode, okay. Now, because the quadcopter is facing left, when I push away on the right stick, it goes forward for the quadcopter, not forward for me. That helps make sense of it all. It's a little windy, and that's just the wind pushing us to give you an indication of how windy it is. So it's pretty windy. Abby, I think I'm going to land this and let you fly a little bit.
Is there no return to home or anything?
No, that is it. There's no GPS.
No auto land or anything?
No auto land.
Okay.
That was it. That's all the functions. And I am going to stop filming just so it saves, and then you can film too if you like. So down is filming, up is
Hopefully that did it. Alright. So
and now, both sticks down and in. Now Abby's at the controls and I am filming.
What rate is it in?
Highest rate. Top left trigger changes your rates. Now you're in rate 1. The altitude hold is not amazing. Yeah.
Oh man, that's not.
No, you have to pretty much give it up the whole time.
It's like fighting itself.
More throttle, more throttle. See if I can get you in focus. There we go. Down. There you go. Now you're filming. You're keeping it in the air just fine. Do you think it's
The altitude hold is like, it just is like the quad is fighting.
it goes down? Show them what happens. Just let off the throttle and show them what happens. So,
Let me get it up here with the wind.
okay.
Okay,
Now you can still steer it. You can still steer it, Abby.
it just goes down.
Yeah, okay. So this time try to let off the throttle but still steer it to keep it in place. Okay? So they can see how much it drops. So you've let off the throttle and it's dropping, dropping, dropping. She's still steering it, but it does like to come down. You're far away.
I'm done.
Bring it in closer. Yeah, you can.
It's going sideways.
You can bring it in. Okay, you ready to switch off? Okay, you take the camera. It's more important than this. Okay, okay, I got it.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. Well, it's like an almost altitudinal quad. I'll try to show you a similar concept here. So I've got the quad facing away. I'm going to continue to steer it so it doesn't fly with the wind. I'm going to let off my throttle now. Now keep in mind this is an altitude hold quad. I've let off the throttle and you see what's happening? You see it's really making significant adjustments, quite a bit.
I mean, it is windy,
Yeah.
so that makes it harder to fly.
Yeah.
And I don't like flying wind at all.
Yeah. I mean, you see it's making all those adjustments, but it's keeping its generic altitude within probably 5 to 10 feet, maybe more. I mean, it's bouncing up and down quite a bit. That's all it. I've not touched the throttle since I said I was taking my hand off of it. I am, however, using the right stick to keep it in place so it doesn't fly away. So it's working. It's working. But it's, we've seen some work better, right?
Yep.
This is basically, if you want a quadcopter that's the size of the DJI Phantom, but without any of the bells and whistles, but there are still a few bells and whistles, like altitude hold, headless mode that actually works, and a camera. It's about $115 when we pick it up. We'll have this link in the description box below, and I think we'll probably just fly this a little bit longer until the battery runs out. You know what we didn't test? A transmitter off test. So I'm gonna stop filming. Hopefully that saves. And then I'll walk out here in the field and turn the transmitter off so you can see when I do that.
Set it down when you do.
Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah, I've not done it yet. That's just it bouncing around.
What's the altitude hold he's
Okay.
saying?
Hold on, I'm gonna wait for it to go up. It's off,
Okay, transmitter's off. Oh, that was kind of hard,
but it worked.
but it worked.
Yeah.
There's a bug on my screen.
So, you know, it flies. It basically flies like, if you have your hand on the throttle, like I do now, it's much more enjoyable. If you take your hands off the throttle, like I just now did, it's very scary because it's going to the ground, and now it's kind of coming back up. But if you just keep your left hand on the on the throttle and try to fly this like it's not an altitude hold quadcopter, it does a much better job. Much better job. I think I would prefer this quadcopter if it were not altitude hold. That's
Yeah, me
probably
too.
its biggest downfall. The only thing that really doesn't work very well on it. But it's a great size quad. We've had quadcopters that have about the same flyability as this, that are about the same price as this, but much smaller. And so if you're a type of person that wants a big quad so you can see it, you don't have to worry about this being a Wi-Fi signal and losing the connection. It's a nice strong 2.4 gigahertz, so you should be able to fly it away pretty far, I would think.
The battery life is really good too.
It is pretty good battery life, and I'm flying it pretty aggressively now.
And for a quad of this size.
So I'm pretty far away, and I feel like I'm not worried about losing the connection because it's 2.4 gigahertz. It should be a pretty good shot for everybody. I wouldn't want to fly much farther away because I couldn't even see it that far away. So it's got great flight range. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It's not bad. It's nice and fast. I'm enjoying it now that it's in the air. I think I started off in a bad mood because I had to build it. Okay, that's it for the juice, I'm sure. Because it's coming down. Oh, it's down. As you can see, it's windy, and I'm sure you can hear it. So understand that this can fly in the wind. But remember, if you buy this, it has altitude hold, not a GPS lock. So if it's windy like this, it's going to hover where you leave it, but the wind is going to take it away. So you have to fight the wind. I think this would actually be a good first quadcopter for somebody because you could get practice with the camera. It's got pretty good flight control. It does have altitude hold that I think would work much better on a calm day. But if you want to fly in the wind, it's able to because it has some weight to it. There's some real weight to that, and I don't know why. I really don't, but it's kind of hefty. And great flight time. Overall, a good quadcopter. Every feature that we showed you worked and worked really well, except the altitude hold in the wind. So do I recommend this? I guess I do. If you're okay with putting it together a little bit at the beginning, it really wasn't anything. It was just the props and the landing gear, and probably put the prop guards on if you're a newer pilot. But you know, for a big quadcopter being about $100, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And it wasn't even a proprietary battery, so that's nice too. All right, we'll have this linked in the description box below for you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.